For those in the path of Andrew's most intense destruction, life had been reduced to the most primitive of conditions. Dade County, south of Kendall Drive, was a different world, a world so tragic, so bizarre, that it seemed unreal. It was a world that brought out the best and the worst in people. It was a world that hovered on the edge of anarchy, and where heroes walked every street.
They've got their M16s. They have live ammunition clips.
And this is what looters are doing, as a matter of fact. They are actually climbing through here.
Every year I always go out and I buy children, my grandchildren's Christmas presents, and I had them stored in the hall closet, and they stole everything.
Looters who came in after the storm.
And after the storm.
As of this time, they're going to jail. We've kind of been lenient. Now we're starting to get serious.
Stay here. You sit here.
Why are you looting?
None of your business.
I don't feel sorry for you because I don't have food in my house either. I don't have water. I don't have a roof. I don't even have a car.
All looters will be shot on sightings.
And that's a real gun in your hand?
Yeah.
It's a real shotgun?
This is real bullets.
We're with Channel 4.
Okay.
We wouldn't be sneaking in with a camera that size. Trust me. You don't sneak in on anybody with a camera that size.
honey.
What's your name, sir? You live here, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, I don't blame you for wanting to keep an eye out. Have you noticed any looters? Has it been
yes,
like that?
yes.
Really?
We already chased a couple out in the back there.
Oh, wow.
And some try to enter the front, and
we've got a couple of people stationed all through the park.
So when you hear people talk about this being like a war zone, it truly does look like a war zone in more ways than one. It's not just the physical destruction, it's what the people here are going through as well. These people are totally shell-shocked. Let's take a look at what we saw earlier today. We're in an area of Homestead called the Redlands. This used to be an avocado grove. As you can see, the destruction here is total. The trees are all gone. The houses are barely livable shells of what they once were. And to make matters worse, Hurricane Andrew seems to have blown away the glue that holds civilization together. Homestead has become something like the Wild West.
Everybody has packed a weapon around here. It's for extra safety. There's a lot of looters driving by. And
scavengers?
Scavengers.
Yeah.
People that haven't even lost their houses, they're coming by from as far north as Broward, and it seems like they just want to steal for some reason.
So that's why you have a gun here?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't want to shoot anybody, but if we're going to defend ourselves.
So you feel like this is the wild frontier? It's back in the 1800s.
I feel like this is the planet of the apes.
So you walk around with this all the time?
Oh, I have.
We've
we had a friend of ours out here a couple miles north of us tell us they were robbed at gunpoint. They took all their supplies, gas, generator.
What's happened to law and order out here?
I don't know. I'm scared. I really am. Well, I'm used to having a big fence around my yard with my dogs. My dogs are sleeping in the house with us. It's real scary. This is the most terrorizing thing I've ever been through in my life as far as the hurricane itself, and then to worry about people coming into your property and having to fend for your life and your things. It's not right, and I don't understand where people think that they can come in and have no respect for other people's property or rights.
These people are desperately trying to maintain a grip on the past because the past means a normal, civilized life. The present means only destruction and fear.
And we prayed, and we said, dear God, help us. Give us life, no more. Just give us life. Let us live, and let us be alive after this.
In 1989, I left St. Croix, where I was born, the day before Hugo. And 3 years later, Andrew almost killed me.
Yeah, I sleep with the gun right there. Flak jacket. Some extra clips inside.
And this is just for protection? You're that scared?
Yeah, I'm scared. I got Got a banana clip in here.
What would you say to people who would say, oh, he's paranoid?
I would say come down and live in Homestead right now. This is a 30 rounds. I got another one in here. I would say come down and spend some time in Homestead, and pretty soon they'll be packing guns too.
I keep thinking I'm going to wake up from this dream, and I'm not waking up. I haven't slept since the storm. It's horrible.
The wind was whistling a death wish to us, the sound of death, like the Grim Reaper was right at the front door. I don't feel like living here anymore.
I mean that, George. I wouldn't buy
What happened to your home during the storm?
Everything was gone, especially mine and the baby's room was all gone. We lost all our clothing. We have no shoes. We have nothing. Everything left.
How's your son dealing with the situation?
He's not doing very good. He cries constantly at night and the screaming. You know, at nighttime he gets very scared and he asks us to close the door. But, you know.
Are you getting assistance that you need from the government?
I called. Supposedly, I'm supposed to hear from them to 3 to 10 days and see if they're going to come see the area where it was damaged, and they're going to let me know what they can help me with.
And where do you go from here?
From there, find a new place to stay at, because I had a rented house, so I have no insurance to cover anything I lost.
Are you optimistic?
Yeah. I just make the best of what I've got now. It's all I can do. Take it one day at a time.
Well, we're going to open whatever we can open up and cook it and try to feed the kids. So this is about 5 households coming together trying to make this one meal. 5 households.
A lot of people are waiting to get back in Key Biscayne. The word from officials is that residents will be able to get back in sometime later today.
We want to go home.
Yes, we want to go
home.
We came yesterday and one of the policemen told us, this is, you want to be independent, this is what you get.
We can't bathe, we can't flush our toilets. You know, we're out here working in the sun. Water is definitely a priority.
ice water. I mean, it's cold. Ice is a hot commodity. People have formed a line all the way down the block, further than we can even see from where we're standing right now. Yeah, that's a 6-hour, 7-hour wait on the average for 5 bags of ice.
I've seen people come in here and steal water out of these shopping malls and center and go over here across the street on the corner and sell them $5 for a gallon of water.
This guy from Tampa came down and was selling little pieces of dry ice for $3.
Ice arrives in Homestead, and within moments, hot tempers flare.
When these vehicles do arrive in your area, please don't mob them. Please act in an orderly fashion, or else they won't let us bring you anything else.
Stop. Hey, hold on.
Brothers and sisters, please hear my earnest plea. We are in a mess that we didn't create. And you are in a situation where you are facing the possibility of drowning. Don't open your mouth and close your eyes. Do the opposite. Close your mouth, open your eyes, and keep kicking. We must not, in our anguish, turn on each other.
Momentarily. There will be more later today. We need you to come back later, please.
This is a real tough way to try and live. You got people scavenging, just literally scavenging. I'm sure they're happy to have all of this stuff, but here in the midst of all of this, you've got kids scavenging for toys. But still, there's a lot of need and there's a lot of frustration. And as we've heard, if it wasn't for the National Guard and police, people would be getting shot. It's just that tense out here. There's already been gunfire.
Traffic is a nightmare heading into Dade County.
Heavy delays on the Palmetto Expressway. It's already slow around the big curve, and it continues slow down to 103 Street.
Some intersections have signal lights, some of them don't, some of them have stop signs, some of them don't.
These are folks who want to head to the Keys, and we're estimating, and I'm going to be kind here and say that this is a 7-mile backup. It probably is longer.
The county manager last night asked all non-essential county employees, the ones who have not been assigned emergency duty, to report to our traffic control center. We're giving them brief training and assigning them to direct traffic physically at those locations where traffic signals are not working.
Get out of the intersection.
Are you having any problem with the people obeying you?
Most of them, once they understand, once we got our signals clear, they understand what we're doing, they're doing it. Wait. Let these two by.
Make sure you do your gas mix right, because if you don't mix it right, it'll burn out.
That's the reason all the people are doing themselves. There are some people that are kicking us while we're down. By that I mean that they're charging way too much for the product or the service.
We're selling generators, chainsaws, gas, and oil.
Are people being fair out here, or are they gouging the public?
They were gouging the public.
We're at Kendall South Boulevard and Southwest 103rd Avenue. I believe this is 103rd Avenue. Take a look at the devastation over here. You can see all the trees are gone. And Kelly Craig said something earlier that was very apt, and that is you never really perhaps realize how beautiful trees are until you end up in a situation like this where they are all toppled and the beauty of the neighborhood is ruined.
No, we can't save this. All of this has to be removed. These trees will never grow again.
We've been taking this down for 3 days now. It was the biggest tree in South Miami over our house. It destroyed the roof.
We're on Old Cutler Road now, where the canopied trees used to provide complete cover. You could barely see the sky, and you can see there's not much left of that canopy. Some people we've spoken to suggest it could take 10, 15 years for these trees to grow back the way they once were.
These trees were in this grove for 15 years. It was a producing grove, a good grove, made good quality fruit, and made a lot of jobs for people. When the trees blew out of the ground, they broke the irrigation system up and took everything out of here. This grove is 100% lost now. It's a piece of bare land, and that's it. There's nothing else left.
Tell me what this means, pal, for, I presume, there's fruit that can be had elsewhere, not maybe of the same quality as you grow here in South Florida. But what about the jobs? You've got packers, you've got laborers, you've got people like yourself who run the packing houses. How serious is this?
The lime industry sustained a loss of over 4,000 acres. In the night of the hurricane. 4,000 acres is about 7 square miles. If you wanted to put that in terms of wages for people, there was a $10 million harvesting payroll lost that night that will not be here this year. And if you replant the trees this year, that $10 million payroll for harvesting won't be here. It will start earliest 4 years from now. We supplied 40% of the U.S. market in limes. We're out. The windfall goes to Mexico.
And the consumers are out too, right?
Well, the prices today are 3 times what they were 2 weeks ago.
Tell me about your plant, because we looked at your packing house, and that sustained a lot of damage as well.
It's like most of what I see in the residences in the area that I drive around here. If it was concrete block structure, it's still there. If it was steel or in some cases wood, it peeled away. We think what we have looks worse than it really is, and we're going to be in decent shape. We're a lot luckier than others.
Bottom line for the lime groves, for the avocado growers, for the agriculture industry in South Dade County, it's in pretty bad shape as a result of this storm?
There are 3 parts of the agricultural industry. We've got nurseries, we've got fruit trees, and we've got vegetables. Except for a few tropical vegetables, nobody had any vegetables in the ground. That's a wintertime crop. They'll start planting next month. Nurseries are absolutely devastated. Groves have been hammered down for avocados, no real crop for 2 years. Mangoes, no real crop for 2 years. 2/3 of the lime industry, if you replant it, you start harvesting again in 4 years. So I don't know what's going to happen with the grove industry. The jury's not in yet. We'll wait and see.
Okay. Well, this is home sweet home after
Hurricane Andrew. And a lot of this stuff is, like the old stereo, the old black and white TV, and some cast-off kind of things I just brought down here to kind of get started. And yet, I should probably pitch it all out, but because it's been with our family for so long, like the speakers for the stereo, we bought those the day after we were married. Okay, so I should toss them. But then you go, wait a minute, it's been through a lot, and now it's been through a hurricane, and so of course I'm going to keep it. Thanks, Andrew. My daughter's radio, the box for my miniature car, and my wife's placemat. Stuff like that she'll ask about, so I got to have it. That's it, man. I'm gone. I'm out of here.
Your neighborhood's been wrecked. So where do you go from here? Insurance.
Is anybody from your insurance company? I see you've got Highlands Insurance up.
They haven't been out yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
This is their chance to really show what they can do. They've been collecting the premiums all these years. Now what we expect them to do is show that what they're there for. It's time now to write the checks and get these people's lives back in order and get them some money so that they can start to rebuild.
You filing a claim today?
Yeah, I got a claim with Allstate, yes.
How's that going?
Well, they've been here for about 5 hours. We're still waiting.
How are you doing, Harry? You're next. Come on in.
We're at the Fountains apartment complex in Southwest Dade, where the tenants here have received a letter from the landlord demanding rent payments.
Take your cameras in there. It's not livable.
What is this?
I don't know what it is. It's water. It's I don't know. I could understand that they're in a bind and they want to fix it, and I could accept all that, but how can they tell me to pay the rent here? Well, for 3 months, and I'm not going to be living here.
We have to leave because the whole roof was falling down. I want to see the owner telling the people what to do and what he's going to do to us, for us in return. We are good tenants. Now we need him. He needs to be here.
What do you think of this, Greg?
I don't like it.
All of these people behind me are complaining about the situation here.
I came back and look at all this. I lost everything. I mean, how can we pay rent when we're not staying here?
Mm-hmm.
We can't stay here.
Yeah.
We have a baby.
Okay, we're going to go to the next apartment here.
They said her apartment was safe. I want you to see what's safe. This is my apartment. They told me, oh, you don't have to worry, it's safe. The circuit breaker box was sizzling. We had to turn off all the circuits. Water is coming down. You see, my neighbors above have no roof. I got a letter. They wanted me to pay rent. I'm not paying them $1. Not $1.
I cannot believe that they're going to make me pay the rent in an apartment that looks like this. It can't happen.
As you can see, there are a lot of angry people out here.
What's burning me up is that there's no compassion. I mean, we're all trying collectively to do something together. But what is he doing?
They're collecting rent. They haven't been by once. They haven't been by. They closed the office. They refuse to talk to us, yet they're trying to collect our rent.
I can't live here. I have to go, and I don't have no furniture. I have nothing.
So you're appealing to the landlord to do something about this horrible situation?
Well, I mean, I'm not paying the rent. I already talked to attorneys. I talked to people. How can I pay the rent for something that's over there that's destroyed?
The manager has just come here to check out the place.
I'm very upset with the people here because they took no precaution 24 hours before the hurricane. There's been no cooperation with residents towards a neighbor or anyone.
Where were you guys before? Not now.
Okay,
where were you guys before when we needed you? Where were you?
As you see, we have people out here working. But what's happening right now, people are frustrated. They don't have renter's insurance. And what happens is that, they didn't take precaution.
And I went and talked to her, and she said, if I don't pay my rent by September 5th, I'm going to get in trouble.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
The hospital, set up at Homestead Middle School, looks like a scene out of MASH. Doctors, nurses, and other volunteers attending the injured, amidst what one physician described as organized chaos.
We're dealing a lot with the heat stress and cardiac arrest problems, people that are suffering from heat fatigue.
So they're just dying now after all of this?
Yes, ma'am. We've had probably 3 or 4 yesterday, and we've had a couple today so far, just in the city of Homestead.
I think it's a terrible mess. And everything else.
No insurance. No insurance. My car is devastated. But I'm not the only one. There's quite a few people that are going through the same thing. Look all around.
a very lost feeling.
Boys, can you grab this stuff? Not much left.
How did you feel when you came out here and you saw it for the first time?
Just a terrible sense of losing everything that I had. Shock. My only comfort, I guess, is knowing that I'm not the only one that's going through this right now. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm sure nobody else knows what they're going to do either. And somehow or another, I guess we'll get through this. You know, there's things to be thankful for. We're alive. Yeah. Nothing could compare with such devastation and such loss. I'm moving around like I think I know what I'm doing, but I don't really know if I know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to gather things that will maybe make the next couple of weeks a little bit more livable. I can't face tomorrow because I don't know what that's going to bring. Yeah. I just could not believe, I mean, I knew that there was going to be windows out, and I knew there was going to be roof damage, but I never thought that I would see just a flattened.
Well, they said that there were some tornadoes afterwards.
Oh, that's where you're going, Port St. Lucie?
Yeah, we don't have anywhere else to go.
Neither one of us had insurance on the mobile homes. You know, you make decisions in life. You don't know. We've got car insurance, life insurance, and it was just one of those things that we didn't think. Probably we just never thought it would happen. You know. It did. And this will pass.
I have a 24-foot sailboat that I left on a mooring off Dinner Key, and I went out yesterday morning and it wasn't there, so I'm trying to find out where it went. I'm hoping it's up on somebody's lawn.
To show you the power of the ocean, the rising ocean during a storm, all you have to do is look at the backyard of this house on Old Cutler Road, and you see the Seaward Explorer.
I mean, I've been in a couple of blows, but this one just kept on going. The water came up to the bottom of that lamp deck.
At any point in time, did you say, I made a mistake?
No. Absolutely not. Look, I'm here. That boat's 50 years old. It's afloat. Those boats are brand new. They're on the rocks. I didn't make a mistake. I built her to do that.
I was lucky enough.
What's the name of your boat?
Jimmy's Hurricane. Jimmy's Hurricane. God almighty. Oh.
I wanted to point out something else that we saw earlier in the day as well. In Florida City, there's been a lot of talk about these monkeys that have escaped here in South Florida as a result of the storm. And we found them this afternoon in a field near Florida City. A couple of law enforcement officers told us that they'd spotted them. We went out looking in the field, and yes, indeed, you can see them scampering along here.
You know, we've heard from police and other people that say that these things can be carrying hepatitis and possibly AIDS virus, and said to, if you see them, shoot them.
All right, and he did.
He did. He took 2 shots at him, and there was another one with him that got away.
Stand on any corner in South Dade, and this is what you see. People driving cars that under any other circumstances would be considered undrivable. They are bruised, they are battered, they are bandaged. But for most people, this is their only link to the outside world. Not only is the windshield missing in that one, they have a little less headroom. No back window either. The front end of that thing, that must have taken a tree. A convertible, no top, no front, not much left of that one. Look at this landscaping truck. Clearly something ended up on top of it during the storm. The guy barely has a windshield, though he still has a smile on his face. And the camper that he's carrying behind that thing obviously spent most of the storm on its side. That's a working vehicle. This blue van is now home away from home for Angelo Packard and his family. They've called this home since Andrew blew through town. This is now the dining room?
Yeah, this is the dining room, the living room,
breakfast room,
the sitting room. This is the whole thing right here.
You guys have actually been sleeping inside of here?
Yeah, every other night we sleep in here, yeah.
What's your apartment like? Total mess?
Ooh, our apartment is total. You stand in our living room, bedroom, and look through everybody else's bedroom.
Angelo and Sandra have an opportunity to relocate to an apartment in Pompano Beach, but that takes them away from family, from a son, from their jobs, and it's not something they're willing to do. So at this point, they'll stay in that van.
Yeah, Jesse Jackson to come back and help us keep hope alive.
The rain is starting to kick up again. We came out about 5 minutes ago because things have subsided a little bit. Carlos, if you can, take a look at my feet. Look at how much standing water there is. And I mean, for the last half hour, 45 minutes, it has been coming down relentless.
You got to remember, most of the roofs down here are gone. So whatever contents people have not been able to salvage yet, now they're getting just dumped on. This rain, like I said...
This is a mess. This is the second day in a row that these poor people have faced a huge onslaught of rain.
We do have a report of a man struck by lightning this afternoon. These pictures are just in. This happened at Chrome and Southwest 177th Street.
We need medical supplies, we need water, we need non-perishable items, and a lot of prayers.
These are the kinds of stories we're talking about. Neighbors like Paul and Pam who are basically just sharing their resources.
I had the chainsaw, but I didn't know how to work it. So he knows how to work it. I have the pieces. I have the oil, he has the gas. I'm meeting a lot of neighbors I didn't know. Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, a disaster has to come along to get people together.
There wasn't a lot of activity happening as far as shelters opening and things like that, so we got with the city manager here in Homestead. We broke into this school, and now we're operating a shelter.
Until we have people directing this effort, then the people who want to help will have to do it on their own.
You have any more toilet paper? Wipes? Who wanted the baby wipes? Okay.
We put together three of us, our church, our construction company, and we just decided we're going to give it to people that really looked like they needed it, so we weren't going to worry about the danger, that we were going to go ahead, that we were just going to, here, there you are, that we were just going to go ahead and bring it down and get it to the people we needed. People were saying that the stuff wasn't getting out to them because they couldn't get to the shopping centers, and we decided we're just going to get it straight to them, so that's what we've been doing. Good luck to you. All right, bye-bye. You need anything? What's in there again?
Who needs Pampers?
I do.
Water, diapers. There's a lot of like newborn babies down here, and they have no diapers. And this is like the first time anybody's been here, apparently, from what these people are saying. We just came down with a load of stuff. This is our second trip down. And wherever we go, people come running after us for water.
So just when you think you've seen it all, then among the ruins, more superhumans, among them Camille and Michael Giraldi. In the center of all this, Camille Giraldi, adoptive mother of 24 needy kids. She's trying to hold it together.
I'm shocked. I mean, this just all happened in the last 10 minutes. It's shocking to me.
People just show up. Outside the Giraldi's Kendall home, complete strangers appear with supplies.
We got everything we could out of the office.
Look at the pool deck. Dozens and dozens and dozens of little kids' shoes lining the deck. Out here trying to dry off all these shoes, absolutely soaked. It's going to be days before these kids can put them on. Camille's not at all fazed about that. She's letting them run around barefoot. Over here, the wheelchairs, the strollers, all of them out here drying. This thing got hit by insulation. And the ventilation machines, they're brought out here because the ceiling above them collapsed. There were 3 kids who had serious breathing problems during the storm. Those 3 kids are now at the hospital. Holding her newest son, 2-week-old Sonny, Camille tells us she's called all kinds of state agencies for help, but they've failed her so far. It is the people, total strangers, who've come to help.
So there's so many needy people, so many people in need of so many things. It's mind-boggling. And we just, those of us who can help, those of us who only have the inconvenience of no power and no water and you know, maybe some water on our rugs, we really need to understand that there's a lot of people who have it a lot worse than us.
You know, I'm very fortunate. I only went 1 day without anything to eat. And I got my electric back on last night, and I said, okay, I'm fine. Let me come home.
The boxes are heavy. Okay. Hundreds of people have been showing up here at the Broward Mall and Plantation, bringing all of their non-perishable goods, their water, their baby food, their diapers, everything they can get their hands on. They're bringing from their own homes to share with the people in Dade County.
I was really blessed.
You feel lucky that we weren't hit, and that's why you're here?
You bet. Sure am. I feel sorry for the other people.
It's an anonymous check made in the amount of $10,000. $10,000.
That incidentally brings our total now to over $17,000.
A little girl came up and said, I want to give my doll.
You know, doing the Y100 Channel 4 drive, you get to balance and offset the darker side of some of the things that are going on. You get to see so many people step forward, and you realize that there's a lot more goodness than there are scoundrels running around out there.
This is what is happening. People are walking up and saying, I have a truck. Where do you want me to drive it to? How can I get it filled up with stuff?
One of the most wonderful things that we have heard about is that Wayne Huizinga, who of course is the chairman of Blockbuster Video, has come forward and said, hey, let's get some corporations together and give some major bucks. Or
passing by looking for ice, and we just saw people out here, so we stopped.
And nobody knows where this stuff came from?
No.
It just appeared in this field?
Yes.
That's kind of strange.
Yes, it is, but thank God. Thank God.
What is it that motivated you this time?
People, my town. You are your brother's keeper. You are. Look at mommy, sir.
We are in Miramar near North Perry Airport. The airplane went down over here. Follow me. We're on top of a roof. The police won't let us get any closer. You can see the plane over there sticking out of that roof over there. It damaged 2 houses as it came down. Now, we understand there is 1 person still inside the plane. That person is dead. There were 3 men in the plane altogether. One of those people is Joe Sagacki, the WIOD sports personality. Obviously, Hurricane Andrew is still wreaking havoc on South Florida, indirectly at least. These people were on their way to Homestead. It was a relief flight.
We had organized a relief effort to bring food down to the migrant farm workers in far southwest Dade, and we had loaded up the planes, and I took off first, and then I got down to Homestead, and his plane didn't show up.
The 2 deaths in the volunteer airlift brutally demonstrated what we've been gradually realizing for 3 days now, that although the volunteer relief effort was incredible, it simply was not going to be enough.
I can tell you that you won't be left to pick up the pieces by yourselves.
There's nowhere to go. They're going to raid our place what we got left. And we got nobody to help us board up everything.
They told you to go to City Hall?
Yeah. So we're going to go try to get some answers from there. We're doing it for our kids, you know, because we can't let them go hungry.
hungry. The only thing I got is what I got on my back, and I brought a blanket and a pillow and my medication, thank goodness. So that's all I got.
Some of us have been here since 8 o'clock this morning trying to get the food out to these people. It's been red tape, it's been this, it's been that. And let me tell you, hurricanes don't follow rules.
We had a guy come up a little while ago who was really upset, who said, hey, sundown's coming. I live over in a residence just down the street, and why don't they come over and protect my house?
Right now, we're working with limited assets. Had a little bit of difficulty getting guardsmen into the area.
Where are they to help us, the Americans, that pay the taxes, that do the things, that follow the rules, that help everybody else in the world? Where are they when we need the help?
We're in the day 3 of the hurricane. If you're so dadgum smart about how to do this thing, you better come down here and do it.
Are you frustrated, Governor?
I'm frustrated when people say, why haven't you fixed this?
Right, but I mean, you have to...
The Army can build a city in the day, I hear. The Army took care of the whole Persian Gulf in 3 days. How long did it take the Army to plan for that before they went in there? I've seen more dadgum work done in a shorter period of time than I've ever seen in my life, and the naysayers are out there, you know, griping and saying that you should have done it a different way. Come help us. Do it a different way. I need help.
A new day has dawned, and believe me, we anticipate a much better day than we did yesterday.
And our military resources are responding promptly and massively to the hurricane disaster.
She is on the ground.
We now have soldiers with mobile kitchen trailers at Homestead Air Force Base.
This is going to serve lunch today.
Contracts have been let for 6 million more gallons of water.
This is a marked improvement from what we saw just 24 hours ago. Is sometimes called the world's largest floating refrigerator. It's a huge food cabinet. 4 of these helicopters are flying non-stop, 8 in the morning to dusk, coming over here, picking up loads like that you see there, and then heading over to the Army field kitchen.
The National Guard chopper takes off with a full load, everything from water to wheelchairs. The crew of the 199th Med Company is trying to go beyond the obvious devastation in South Dade to the areas where the roads are impassable, the conditions impossible. They set down on 202nd Avenue, and no sooner the helo is surrounded by hungry, scared people, many still wearing that look of having lived through hell.
Just terror, pure terror. Everybody was freaking out. It was hard to keep calm, and you know, when wind is flying and furniture and everything going all over the place and your roof's off your head, try to lay out in a bathtub and behind doors and anything you can do to get out from being blown away.
The supplies are being stocked at the Roach's house. It is from here as many as 30 families will get their help. They need so much more.
They need milk for the kids. If you can bring any ice, you know, ice.
We have some ice on board.
Okay.
Plastic.
Plastics.
As we snake our way over the concrete chunks that were once support beams, neighbors talk about coming too close to death.
They hid right over there, and like where the kitchen was, and the house has collapsed around, they say around a half hour after the storm started hitting hard. That was around 4:20, 4:30 in the morning.
So they actually stuck it
out
in the
they
middle
stuck
of
it
this?
out there. It was crazy. They thought the house was safe like everybody else, you know. Everybody else out here thought their houses were all right. Say thank you.
You're welcome.
The little kids get candy, though they really need sunscreen. This particular group from the National Guard has 25 aircraft doing the same thing, searching, circling, supplying from sunup to sundown. Each time they land, still more needy people.
My
what your number one need out here right now?
Tents, and cots, and visqueen.
What about the rains? Did you guys get clobbered with rains last night?
That's why we need the visqueen, because the visqueen protects all the merchandise that we're getting. If we get a lot of stuff and then it rains on it, it's going to damage it.
These people in the eastern Everglades are energized by these supplies, but they still worry about the neighbors they've not yet heard from, a mother and her 2 sons down the road. They also worry about those who insist on staying in broken homes.
It's a family with 2 little kids. One is sick. We already supply them with everything they need. But I think they're not going to be able to stand in overnight because the roof is about to be give up.
This group has some tents. They will make it through the night, but they will need so much more.
Does it ever seem completely overwhelming to you all?
It really seems incredible. It almost seems like you'll never get it done, but we're going to do it. It may take a little longer in some places than others, but we'll get it done.
And as they do, they are appreciated.
Seeing all these people come through and really helping out the people. They have no food and their homes are all busted down, and just glad to help them out down here.
One more, I think it's going to be about all.
We feel good helping people, American citizens, because, if that happened to us, we would hope that they would do the same thing for us, and we just, just glad to be here to help.
There's literally tens of thousands of heroic things that no one knows about.
This is where Charleston Police Department has set up camp, and they are here with a whole contingent of police officers, and they are aiding the Homestead Police in the arrests.
But we're trying to share our experiences with Hugo, and sometimes it has helped them in a couple of situations thus far.
They have literally just walked away from their homes to protect other homes.
I went to my house last night. The first time I was able to go to my house was about 14 hours after it hit, and about 50% of my house is gone.
So rescue workers from Orlando and dog teams from Jacksonville pour over what remains of this trailer park, tearing into the debris, hoping against hope that if someone is here, they might still be alive.
These crews are coming from all over the southeastern part of the United States, 800 of them.
Looks like a military convoy.
It does, a convoy.
Approximately 700,000 homes and businesses have now been returned to service after the first day of the devastation left by Hurricane Andrew.
We turned building on the other day, got fireworks and applaud and all kinds of stuff. Makes it worthwhile.
Let it go, baby. That's pretty ridiculous, isn't it?
Many of South Florida's irreplaceable community treasures were damaged or destroyed by Hurricane Andrew. Some may come back and be even better, but others were lost forever.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
We're taking a look at Metro Zoo. All the trees have been defoliated. You're looking at some sticks sticking up out of the ground. Many of them snapped over.
Supposedly stress tested to 150-mile-an-hour winds, which is obviously not the case anymore. And when you walk in here, it just overwhelms you. A lot of the keepers here used to call this paradise because that's what it used to be. You could come in here and just unwind, and now it's just an absolute destruction area. It looks like an atomic bomb went off in here.
And I believe that Metro Zoo is going to be better than it ever was. Maybe not as beautiful right away because you can't grow trees in a day, but it's going to be better because it's really more than ever going to be the people's zoo. They're the ones who are rebuilding it. Everything we're doing now is being done through the people, what they're giving us.
We don't know exactly where they're going, possibly to other bases either in Florida or in Georgia, but they are blasting off right now in advance of Hurricane Andrew.
It looks like an Air Force base that one might imagine was involved in some kind of a nuclear blast. I mean, the damage here is just almost beyond description. I mean, every single facility here has some major structural damage to it. Certainly the mission that this base has performed is one that has been focused on the Caribbean and on Cuba for decades now. I don't think anybody can argue that the mission is any less today because the storm went through. The question is going to be, do we have the resources at this time to reconstitute the base and keep it involved in its original mission?
With all the damage that has to be repaired, operators here at Miami Seaquarium say they have no idea when they're going to be able to reopen.
Under that tin shed was one of his boats, also one of his original boats, the 16th vessel, an 1891 boat that he used to go back and forth to New York with. Gone. It's some splinters on the property.
It's really a piece of history completely lost here. It's something we will never see again.
When you go into the gardens, we've got many years of work to get back to where we were looking before Andrew. But we're here and we'll be back. We made it through pretty good, I'd say.
We took damage to the roofs of a lot of these cars, and we got some busted windows, but our toys basically have survived. It's going to take a lot of tender care to get them back together again, but we're going to be able to do it.
So where do you go from here?
Well, we're going to start from scratch. We're feeding the animals. We're keeping them well. After we get the animals, paths cut to the animals that we can reach them and get them to the point where they're psychologically healthy and well, and get them calmed down. Then we're going to clean up the paths so that we can start repairing.
The nature of the garden to look at these disasters in the face and say, by God, we can do it even better next time, and we will grow a wonderful garden again. The Fairchild Garden will rise again.
We're looking at the different kinds of construction of these homes. What was it you were saying? Well, there's actually three gradations of things here. Over here we have the CBS type construction with tile roofs right here. Next over here we have the mobile home park and the manufactured home park. And then next over there we have the wood frame construction of the country walk area. And you just look at the gradation. Look at the gradation. And even within the concrete block structures. If you notice around here to the right, if you can swing around to the right a little bit now, if Powell can swing just to the right, you can see the concrete block structures over there with the red roofs over there. I don't think even a tile is missing. So there must be something different between how that complex was built as compared to one that's across the street. Right. And clearly much difference between the damage here, here, and here.
Yeah, it's incredible. If you look back there, look at that. There's a whole complex that looks absolutely perfect, and right across the street you see a complex that obviously there was some kind of deficiency in the way the roofs were put on, because while the walls all stood up fine, there's a lot of windows out and the roofs obviously came off. Bob, did you ever think it would be this bad?
No, I did not. I don't think any of us comprehended this. I've looked at hurricane damage ever since I've been involved in the game, and certainly back in 1969, the Camille incident. Certainly areas of Camille is as bad as this, but as widespread as this, no, there's nothing to compare to this. Well, the winds, when they get up to the order this hurricane was sustained about 140, and gusts may have been up to 170, 175 or so. That's just like a tornado, except it's not a tornado tornado that's a block wide, it's a tornado that's 25 miles wide or so. Clearly, it's a difference in construction.
Yeah.
They did not experience any different condition in this mobile home park or this park over here or Country Walk than that complex did right over there, and yet tremendous difference in the damage that was done. For just a few percent in the cost of construction of a building, we'd had the kind of buildings that were over there, and we'd instead of this $15 to $20 billion in a loss, it would have been far, far less. And those people that my own secretary that had to go through this thing with construction that failed around her, and my family, fortunately, were out of this area, but those people that had to go through that, there's no excuse for that. We should have been doing something about this a long time ago.
At first sight, this damage is unbelievable, but then when you think about it, this is the outside wall. This is the outside wall. It's supposed to protect you from the elements. This is supposed to protect you from a hurricane.
It's just a thin sheet, almost like paneling. In fact, that's probably the way you would describe it. Nailed directly to the studs. There is a sheet of fiberboard in there. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
This is something in a good grip. I think I could probably break myself. I mean, what kind of winds is this supposed to be?
120 miles per hour is what the county inspector said.
Yeah, the design wind speeds are for 120 miles per hour in this county, but that won't cut it.
But this won't cut 120 miles an hour?
No.
What would it cut?
I have no idea, but it's a lot less than that.
100, maybe.
Keep going.
Keep going down.
Down.
90. This is Hurricane Ed. Hurricane Ed just destroyed this house. Just destroyed the house. That's great. Hurricane Ed.
Lennar is out there trying to put on this facelift because they don't want everybody to see their hurricane damage.
Who bulldozed your driveway?
Man, I just went over there. This man right down, I could take you down the cul-de-sac, and they have specific orders to go. There's heavy machinery graded across my driveway. Driveways. And when you see my cul-de-sac, we're talking about there's a heap of my garbage in the cul-de-sac. This man in the green hat here, the chartreuse hat, is the one who told me the exact order he got. I don't want to talk to the news. Sorry. He says he doesn't want to talk to the news.
What did he say to you?
He told me, he says we were supposed to clean all the cul-de-sacs and streets and the driveways.
And what did you lose? Why are you?
I'll take you over there and I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you exactly. That's one thing I found this morning right there. 108th MP Company, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. This is from 1977, from my hometown in Ohio.
So where was this stuff?
This stuff was in my cul-de-sac. This is my daughter. This is myself and my daughter. Our Easter picture from 1992.
What did you? This
is the stuff I'm finding in my cul-de-sac, in my pile of rubbish in the middle of my cul-de-sac that's been scraped from my driveway. When you see my house, I haven't even got 50% of my house out yet.
And so you're trying to get your stuff out, and they came along and they just scraped it out into the middle.
It scraped it out into the middle of the street. And this is not even Lennar's subdivision. They don't own nothing. Their homeowners association doesn't even control this anymore.
And he's saying that Lennar told him to clean all of this.
They're putting a facelift out here so that people won't realize the hurricane damage to their death traps. They're trying to make it a nice, clean scene so that they can get the people to buy their new homes that are still being built in the other phases. I called 911 and I said, I'm a former military policeman and I am on the edge, and this guy is totally ruining my personal belongings. I called the Lennar subdivision and Lennar said, we gave an order to clean only the streets. This is the biggest atrocity there is. This is a human mind that's responsible for this, not nature. And they can go and take your personal belongings. Just bulldoze them. It's unbelievable. I found that over there in the pile. It's a Miami Herald picture of Martha's wedding picture. Found some Easter pictures. And I don't know what else is at the bottom of the pack, the stack.
One of the most important questions that's being asked in the aftermath of this storm is why did some neighborhoods suffer so much damage and others so little? We're in Country Walk, very hard-hit neighborhood in Southwest Dade, with Dr. Wen Chang at the University of Miami. Dr. Chang, you've taken a look at this house for us. You're an engineering expert. What was wrong here with the construction?
Oh, I think it's a shoddy workmanship and also inferior material was used.
And if the building would have been up to code, what do you think would have been the extent of the damage here?
I would think the extent of damage, you will see the roofing tile and as well as the roofing paper throughout, but the structure will be intact.
Okay, and today, a resident here in the Arvida community filed a lawsuit against Arvida and the former owners of Arvida, the Walt Disney Corporation. We should expect to see a lot more of these, given the allegations by engineers like Dr. Chang of just how poor the work might have been here.
To destroy this place and bulldoze it. That cannot be done. Hold on a minute.
I think that this is indicative of the building quality in this community as compared to one still within the eye wall area that on the map that the Herald had. It's poor, it appears to be poor quality, and we can't get any answers from them.
And those answers might be a long time coming. But as we sift through the debris of the broken homes and the broken lives that Andrew left behind, what have we learned? Well, we've learned that we can live through this, both as individuals and as a community. We lost some people to Andrew. Let's hope with a little more education, a little more work, that we won't lose anybody the next time. We can learn to build a better city here, to build better buildings and to build better bonds between people. That process has already started. What didn't we learn? We didn't learn the high-rise lesson. We don't know what would have happened if that intense core part of the storm had hit Brickell Avenue, or Aventura, or Hallandale, or Hollywood, or up to Pompano Beach. All those high-rise condos with all those unprotected windows. We don't know what would have happened if that intense part of the storm had hit those areas. We also don't know what would have happened if that intense core part of the storm had hit downtown Miami or downtown Fort Lauderdale, the economic centers of our region. What would have happened to the long-term economy of this area if all those jobs had been lost? We just don't know. We have fears for the next time. We're afraid too many people are going to try and leave, to evacuate to Orlando or Fort Myers on the Turnpike or Tamiami Trail or Alligator Alley. That thousands of people will get caught in their cars trying to get out of here, and then the storm might veer off just a little bit and hit where they are, and there'll be too much traffic, and they'll be trapped there in their cars, the worst place they can possibly be. We need to thank lots of people. We need to thank the people that came from all over the world to help us here. We need to especially thank those people that came from South Carolina. They left before the storm even hit. We need to thank the volunteers that gave their time, their food, their money, their supplies. We can't thank them enough. We need to thank all the people we talked about in the last 2 hours that worked harder than they've ever worked before. And we need to thank the staff here at Channel 4 that put together a plan and kept us on the air throughout the storm. We can hope this has been the storm of a lifetime, but we can't bet on it. We're hurricane veterans here now, and we know we have to build a better city. We have to check our buildings, building by building, house by house. We need to be sure that they're ready for the next time a storm comes along. We know the quality of the people here now. We know their spirit. And we can hope this spirit stays with us as we rebuild South Florida together.
Somebody prayed for me. Took a little time and prayed for me. I'm so glad they prayed. I'm so glad they prayed for me.
Say thank you.
I got some extra. You need some more paper products? Yeah. All right. What do you got? Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Gotta stick together, make the best of things. You know, this thing ain't gonna kick my butt or
it shouldn't kick nobody else's, but, you know, we still have our life. We still have our, you know, our dignity and all that. So we make the best of it, stick together, and I sure will get out of here because I'm going to be living in the same place, you know, and I'm going to come back, and everybody else should come back.
Where do you go from here?
We just rebuild. We don't quit. We just rebuild.
This got started this morning. We put about 50 guys from the community to work here, and they're all willing to go. Tired of sitting around moping, you know. Just get in and get something done.
So you were able to find a lot of people that are ready to go out and get started on this stuff, huh?
I didn't advertise at all. We just came over here and started working, and people came from the communities everywhere and didn't ask how much they're getting paid or anything, just started working.
We just got power back this afternoon.
How long has it been?
7 days.
7 days.
7 long, miserable days.
Beyond
Tonight, we're going to turn it up really cold and get a good night's sleep.
Finally.
Yes.
Finally.
Very strong. We have a strong faith, wonderful friends, and good family, and we'll make it.
We all really love the Homestead area, and it's not like what it used to be, but we'd like to try to build it back up and make it what it used to be sometime. I know it's going to take a long time. It's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel now, but I'm sure a lot of hard work will get there.